Welcome to this webinar about the first steps tutorial in PTV Visum, which is aimed at helping you with the very first start and explains the basics of the program operation. The webinar follows pretty much the steps as described in the tutorial documentation. The example deals with network editing and procedures as well as graphic parameter settings. When you start the first steps tutorial in PTV Visum, it opens a version file as you can see here. The tutorial is based on the transport network of a medium-sized city consisting of both highway and public transport. Before we start with the actual tutorial, I would like to point out some key elements of the user interface. The user interface consists of different windows, or as we call them, views. In the initial setting, there are the network editor showing the transport network, a network view with available objects to choose from. Here is a quick view window giving information about selected objects, and at the bottom a view with the procedure sequence. As we will see later on, there are several more views and the layout of the views is not fixed. They can be varied in size, maybe something like this. They can be closed and they can be moved and arranged in a different way according to the requirements. For this tutorial, it's recommended to change the layout of the windows only according to the instructions. And so before we start, I would like to show how you can restart the tutorial and with it restore the views. It is under the menu File, Open Versions, and then you double-click the only available file and you start at the very beginning. So the first lesson is about the procedure sequence. As you can see here, there are already 3 procedures set up. There are assignments both for highway and for public transport, and to run these procedures you click on the green triangle over here, and then these operations are executed sequentially. They are an equilibrium assignment for highway and a timetable-based assignment for public transport. We don't see a lot at the moment, so we want to change the graphic parameter settings, and there is already some graphic parameter settings prepared. If you open this pull-down menu up here, you see there are already 3 graphic parameters defined. So choose the first one, which is called 01 assignment, and then we see 2 different bars showing the volume both for highway and for public transport. If you want to have a closer look, you can zoom in using these icons here. Or if you want to zoom out, you can use this icon here. Or more convenient is you can use your mouse wheel. So if you scroll your mouse wheel forward, it zooms in. If you scroll it backwards, it zooms out. You can also move or pan your network with this icon here. Or again, more convenient, if you press your mouse wheel, then you can pan the network as well. So now zoom in just to any place in the city center, and then you have more details about the volumes. And if you want to have even more details on one particular link, you can open that link and have a look at the attributes. And to do that, you have to make sure that you are in the edit mode, which is this symbol here. And you have to make sure that you're choosing the object that you want to look at. So for example, if you want to have a look at a certain link, you have to select the object links. And then you double click on any link and it opens this dialog, which indicates different attributes, both changeable attributes like the speed and the capacity, or non-changeable attributes like the assignment results. When you select one link, it comes actually with 2 links at the same time, one for each direction. If you would like to switch between the 2 directions, you can use this button, which is called opposite, and then you can switch between the 2 directions. So you can cancel that dialog, and we come to another way how you can view and edit attributes, and this is by using a list. There's already one list opened, which is just next to the procedure sequence. So if you switch over to the tab Lists, and I move it up a little bit. So this list here lists all links that we have in the network. And these attributes here that you can see here, they are just a pre-selected set of attributes. If you would like to have additional attributes, you open with this icon the attribute selection box, and then you can choose from any attributes for links that you like. Just double click and it will be appended to the list as a new column. The list and the network editor are synchronized, which means if you click on one of these links in the list, it automatically synchronizes with the network editor, and it works also the other way around. So if you select a link, it automatically selects this link in the list. And like this, you can work with any lists that you want. The synchronization comes with several modes, and the modes are these buttons over here. They come from no synchronization up to synchronize and auto zoom to that selected object. If you would like to open more lists for other objects, you can do that in the menu Lists, and then there are sub-menus, for example network, then you can choose from any other objects. So the next task then is to edit the network. And we want to edit the network by inserting a new link. And for this, I have prepared already another graphic parameter, and this time it's number 02, bridge. It zooms to this location here, and you see these blue circles here. They indicate the start and the end of a new link. In this example, it's a new bridge going from here to here. To insert a new object, it is necessary to switch over to the insert mode, which is this plus symbol here. And you have to make sure that you're choosing the right object. So links is correct. And to insert a new link, it starts and ends at a node. So you just move the mouse to this node here and click, and then you can move the mouse to the other end. You can also click somewhere in between, and then you get intermediate points to get a certain shape to your link. So I finish the link over here, and then it's asking you to choose a type number of the link. There are already some type numbers defined. If you choose type number 36 for this new link and confirm with OK, it's asking you if you would like to delete the assignment results, confirm with yes, and then we have a new link over here. It is recommended when you're finished with inserting new objects that you switch back to the edit mode. In this case, then you can double click to get the attribute of this particular link. So we want to see if the new link is accepted by the demand. So I switch back to the procedure sequence and rerun the assignments again. Of course, we expect only changes in highway, not in public transport, because at the moment there is no public transport over this new bridge. So I load again the graphic parameter 01 assignment. And when I zoom into the new bridge or the new link, I can see, yeah, there's volume on it. So obviously there was a shift from somewhere over here to the new bridge. So this network contains demand. So the demand must be stored somewhere, and it is stored in form of matrices. To get an overview of all matrices, there's another view which is called matrices just next to the network. So if you switch over to this view and open this tree until the last level, and then you find there are two matrices, one for car and one for public transport. to open a matrix, you just double click and it opens a matrix editor where you see the matrix entries. You can now edit the matrices either manually, or we have a number of operations over here. And you can also see that the network and the matrix editor again synchronizes. So if you click on one of the OD relations, it synchronizes with the network and indicates where this OD relation is. And again, there are different modes for synchronization which can be changed with these buttons over here. So you can close the matrix again. To close a view, you click on these X either over here or on the tab, and then the matrix editor is closed. And the next exercise we're doing is learning about graphic parameter settings. And for this, you switch back to the network view. And I first want to point out about this first column over here. So the icons that you can see here, these are the graphic layer of each of these objects. The ones which are colored are switched on, the gray ones are switched off. So at the moment we have only the links switched on. If you would like to see the nodes, just click on this icon here and can switch it on and off. And we want to do some changes to the zones. So if you switch on the layer symbol for zones, and you can see that there are zones highlighted, there are centroids, and there are polygons. And to do changes to the graphic parameters of a particular object, you right-click on the layer symbol. So it opens a graphic setting dialog, and it automatically goes to the area where you started. In this case, it was the zones. So here's a preview what the zones look like. So here is this gray polygon in a uniform display. We want to change this into a classified display. So switch to classified display. It will then classify by type number. This is the attribute, and there are 4 classes already defined. Then you can do changes to them. Here, for example, you can change the color of the centroid. Here you can change the shape of the pattern of the polygon. For example, if you would like a full fill color, something like this. And if you would like to see what your setting looks like, you can choose the preview button, which is down here. And then you can see, okay, this is what it looks like. And if you're happy with it, you can then confirm with OK. So you can switch off the layer for zones. And the next exercise about graphic parameters is on the links. So we want to do some changes to these link bars that you can see here from the assignment results. So right-click on the layer symbol for links, and it automatically opens the section for the links. You see there is a submenu called bars. This is to switch on and off these link bars. And to change them, you have to open the submenu again until it says display. And when you choose display, you can see that here are 2 bars defined. One is car and one is public transport. And we would like to add another bar to these. First of all, we switch off these 2. We don't want to see them at the moment, and add another another bar using this icon here, which is a plus symbol. So it has appended another column with a default attribute, which is attribute type number. We want to change the attribute type number, so click on that and it opens this attribute selection box, and we choose in this, just as an example here, the attribute length. So double click on length. We can do some more settings. We can increase the width to 8, for example. We can use the auto scale, and then we just confirm with OK. And this is the result. So now the bar width indicates the length of the link, and you can see there are longer links somewhere outside the city center and just very short links in the city center. So, and like this, it works pretty similar for all objects that you can display using graphic parameters. So we come back now to editing the network, and now we switch over to public transport. So we want to add another public transport line, and for this, first I have prepared a graphic parameter set, which is number 3 express bus. So what you see here, these yellow triangle symbolize a stop point. So all around the city are stop points. We want to create a new bus line, an express line, which goes from this red circle to this red circle over here. So we want a new bus line going over our new bridge. And to insert a new object, again, is switching over to the insert mode, the plus symbol, and then selecting the right object, which is lines. It asks first, do you want to create a line or a line route? We first have to define a line. So switch to line and click somewhere in your network. And then we can give it a name, and we give it a name express. Make sure that the transport system is still bus and confirm with OK. And then we can start to define line routes. So switch over to line route and click somewhere in your network. It comes up with this dialog, and then we have to choose our line, which is express down here. Can give it a name, for example, it's just number 1, and confirm with OK. And then we are in a mode where we can create or edit the shape of a line route. A line route starts and ends at a stop point, so we would like to start here and end over here. To start is just clicking on a stop point and leave the mouse button clicked. And then if you move your mouse cursor, you can see that it gives you a preview where the line route is actually going. So we go the straight way from one to the other side. And when we're there, just release the mouse button and the line route is defined. When you're happy with the line route, you can confirm with OK. This is just to confirm that you want to delete the assignment results. Yes. And then our line route is finished. Where can we see it? Well, when we go back to the edit mode, it opens this list here where it lists all line routes. And if I scroll down a little bit until I come to the line express, you can see it's highlighted in red. This is the line route for the bus line express. At the moment, it's one direction. It goes from here to here. We would like to add the opposite direction as well. And there's a function that does it automatically. If you right-click this line route, in the context menu, there's one menu called Create Opposite Direction. So just hit that and confirm with OK. And then you see that we have now 2 express lines, one in either direction. So we have now created one line. We have created 2 line routes for that. Next step to be done is we have to define a time profile. A time profile is just a definition how long it takes from one stop point to the other. And to access the time profile, you double click on one of the line routes and switch over to the tab Items and Time Profiles. On the left-hand side, there are the link length between the stop points. On the right-hand side is the time profile, so there's a column called Run Times. There are some default run times. They come from the link runtime on the links between the stop points. So what we want to do is we want to round them up to the full minute. So just type in 71111 and confirm with OK. And do the same for the opposite direction. So double click on that line route and again round up to the full minute, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 7. And then we have exactly symmetrical time profile. And then we have a line, we have 2 line routes, and we have defined time profiles. So that's still not enough if we would like to run a timetable-based assignment, because now we have also to define a timetable or vehicle journeys. And to do that, we have to open another view, which is the timetable editor. First, select both express line routes by Shift or Control. And then at the bottom, there's an option Timetable Tabular. So if you click that one, it opens another view down here, the timetable editor. And at the moment, the view is empty, so there are no vehicle journeys defined at the moment. So we have to define them. And this is by clicking this icon here, Create Vehicle Journeys. It opens the dialog. The first page can be ignored at the moment, and you can straight switch over to the second tab, Regular Services. Switch on this option, Create Regular Services, and then type in a headway start and headway end. We start at 6 in the morning and we end at 22 in the evening. And we have a regular service, a headway of 15 minutes. And when I then click on this box here below, it lists all departure times starting at 6 o'clock and finishing at 22 every 15 minutes. When you're happy with your departure times, you can confirm with OK. And it takes over the vehicle journey into this view here. So now every column here indicates one vehicle journey. So it starts at 6 o'clock, 6:15, 6:30, and so on until 22 in the evening. So these are the vehicle journeys in one direction. We want the opposite direction as well. So we have to do exactly the same. Open this dialog, Create Vehicle Journeys. But now we have to make sure that we change the direction. So where it says direction, just change it to the other direction, switch to the regular services, create regular services, start with a headway time of 6 o'clock, end is 22, regular services again 15 minutes, click somewhere in the box here, and it adds departure times every 15 minutes starting at 6 o'clock. So you can confirm this again. And then we have vehicle journeys for the express bus in 2 directions. You can now close the timetable editor and switch over to the procedure sequence. And then we rerun the assignment. And then we will check if the new express bus is accepted by the demand. I load the graphic parameter file again, number 1 assignment. And then when I zoom in, I can see, yeah, there are about 50 people choosing this new express line going from here to here. Okay. So this is the end of the first steps tutorial. Here are some tips for more self-training and support. After the first steps tutorial, we recommend to do the QuickStart tutorial. This again is a step-by-step training tutorial covering additional general topics and going more into detail. For further specific topics such as demand modeling or scenario manager, we have several examples consisting of prepared files and documentation. They all come with the installation, and you have a direct access to them from the Visum user interface. So under menu Help, there is a menu called Examples, and from there you can open the QuickStart folder, and it opens this folder giving you access to the documentation here and all the required files and data. The instruction how it works and how to start the tutorial is given in this documentation. The same for the other examples. So there's an option to open the examples folder. Then you can go into the examples, and if you're interested, for example, in a demand modeling example, you just open this one. It comes with all the files required for the exercise and with the documentation here as well. So then there are webinars about specific topics. You can register for upcoming webinars on this side here. And there you can also get access to the videos from previous webinars. And finally, we recommend our user manual, which can also be opened directly from the user interface. It contains both information about the program operation of Visum and methods with the theoretical background. So, thank you for watching the webinar. We hope this first steps tutorial will give you a good starting point, and we hope that you enjoy working with PTV Visum.